Hello, my name is Wesley Aston, and thank you for watching my series on how I shoot and edit my time lapses. So for this section we're going to be talking about motorized sliders and how to use them with your time lapses. So what a slider does is slowly move your camera while you're shooting a time lapse to give yourself a more dynamic shot and add some parallax motion. So your most standard slider is just a metal track with a motor on it that you set a pace for your camera, how fast you want it to move depending on how long your time lapse is going to be. You want to make sure that it gets a decent amount of motion while you're shooting that time lapse, but you don't want it to move too fast because you don't want to get to the end of the track before your time lapse is done. There's a few other things you can do, like doing a rotation, like a pan or a tilt. I started off using an egg timer myself, and with a little GoPro it added some motion to it and it got the job done. It was pretty slick. So as you're setting up your time lapse and your slider, you kind of want to give it a little trial run to make sure that the movement you get out of it is actually something that's going to look good with a slider. Sometimes you shoot with a slider and you don't really notice anything moving, so a slider wasn't really needed for it. That's where it's good to kind of have a couple of layers throughout your frame. Maybe there's some rocks or a bush up close, and then in the background you've got the mountains. So your camera will move past these rocks, you can see them moving quite a bit, and it adds so much more value to your shot. The other thing is just making sure that your gear is locked down. You've got it on good stable ground, or your tripod's locked in, your belt is tight, just because you don't want any mishaps or any bumps to ruin your time lapse that you've set up. So when I use a slider, I usually will set it at an incline. I like how it looks better than just flat level ground. So once you've found a location you want to shoot, then you get your gear set up, your camera settings correct for the scene you're going to shoot, and you tell your slider to start running, get your camera firing, then just keep an eye on your gear to make sure everything's working great. And once it's completed, then you are finished and move on to the editing part. Now check out my other videos on how I process my time lapses with LRTimelapse and even After Effects. Thanks for watching.